up guys, my name is Faisal Al-Edaily and welcome back to an episode of Geometry. Today we are going to start our new geometry series and our lesson will be the area of shapes. We're going to go through circles, triangles, rectangles, compound shapes. So let's start with circles. Now this is the formula for circles, the areas of the circle. So its area equals to pi r squared. Now what does this mean? We can see here the radius. Right now it says that the radius is 5 inches. So if we plug radius equals 5 inches to the formula, we will get this. So we'll have A equals to pi times 5 squared. 5 squared is equal to 25. 25. And then we have 25 times pi, and that's like approximately 78. So the answer is approximately 78, and then the unit will be the unit we had in the radius, which is inches. Now, do we keep it like this? No. We have to add a square because it's an area. So the answer is 78 inches squared. Almost. If you want it to be exact, we have pi times 25 pi inches squared. That's also another answer. That's the exact answer. Next we have radius equals 5 miles. Also assuming that these are perfect circles. So the formula is pi r squared. So A stands for area. So pi times 5 miles, so that's also 25 miles. So it's pi times 25, which is approximately equal to 78, I think it was. Yeah, 78. So it's 78 square miles. So that's the answer. That's the area of this circle. Let's try another one. This time it's 10 feet. So the formula is A equals to pi r squared. So pi times r squared. Now the radius is 10 feet. 10 feet squared, that's 100 feet. So we'll write 100. And pi times 100 is around 314. So it's approximately equal to 314. And then it says here that it's feet squared. So it's feet and then squared. So the answer is 314 square feet. Next, assuming this is a perfect circle, 8 yards squared. So the formula is A equals to pi r squared. So the area equals to pi 8 squared. 8 times 8 is equal to 64. So we're gonna have pi times 64. That's around 200. It's approximately equal to 200. Let me make it an approximately equal to sign. So we know that it's not the exact answer. It will be an irrational number since pi is an irrational number. So the radius is 8 yards. So we're gonna have 2 yards or 200 yards squared. So that's the answer. Area equals to 200 square yards. So that's it for the circle. Next we will do the triangle. So next is the triangle. So we have this right triangle, 3 inches, 5 inches, and 6 inches. Here's the formula of the area of a triangle. It is BH over 2. B stands for base and H stands for height. Now the base is this part right here, which is 5 inches. And the height is this. which is 3 inches. Now, this formula only works for right triangles. And this is why it's over 2, by the way. Because right triangles are basically half of a rectangle. So a rectangle would be like this. So this is exactly half of the rectangle. So the base, the length of a rectangle, the area I mean, is the length times width. So we just divide that by 2, half it, because the triangle is the half of a rectangle, and then we get our value. So the base is 5 inches, and the height is 3 inches. So we have 5 times 3 over 2. 5 times 3 equals to 15. 15 over 2. We can leave it like this, or we can make it a decimal. Let's make it a decimal. So we'll have 7.5. And then inches squared, because it's the area. So you can say it's 15 over 2 square inches or 7.5 square inches. Both of them work. Next is this. So the formula is BH over 2. The base is 1 mile. The height is 4 miles. So we're going to have 1 times 4, which is just 4, over 2. That's equal to 2. 4 over 2 is 2. And then square miles. So that's the answer. And you can also see here, this is a right triangle, right angled, and it also is half of the rectangle, which is like this. That's the rectangle. It would be like that. It would be another triangle. So we'll just half it. So that's how you derive the formula. Next we have this. So the base times the height, 4 times 4, that's 24 over 2 is equal to 12. So the answer is 12 square yards. Let me highlight it. That's a weird shape, but that's alright. Next is this. So 7 times 8 over 2. It's basically the same as 7 times 4, which is 28. Which is square feet. That's the unit. So it's 28 square feet. So that's it for the triangle. Here it is. And let's move on to the rectangle. So this is the first rectangle. 7 feet, 32 feet. Now, this formula is different. It's actually the most simple one out of all of these. And that is area equals to LW. LW. Now, what does L mean and what does W mean? L stands for length. So it's the length of the triangle right here. And then width, or W, that's the width. So it's the width of a triangle. So we have to multiply the length and the width together. So let's see how this works. So the length, that is 32 feet. So we're gonna have 32 times the width, which is 7 feet. So we're gonna have 32 times 7. And 30 times 7 is 210. 7 times 2 is 14. And then you just add these up. 210 plus 14 is 224. And then the unit they're using is feet. So we're gonna have 224 feet, square feet. Feet squared. So the answer is 224 square feet. Let's try another one similar to that. So we have 5 yards times 2 yards. So remember the formula is A equals LW. So A, or area, is 2 times 5. And then 2 times 5 is 10 yards squared, or square yards. So that's the answer. Next, 7 times 3 is 21 inches squared. So you can just multiply them. 7 times 3, that is equal to 21. And then you can just put the unit here, which is inches, and then add squared to it. So 7 times 3 is 21 square inches. Inches squared. Next, we have 1 inch times 9 inch. 1 times 9 is just 9. If you multiply anything by 1, just the same thing. And then inch squared. So 9 inch squared is the area. So that's it for the square. Now let's move on to the compound shapes. And what I mean by compound shapes, we're going to put more than one shape together, and then we're going to have to see the value, or the area. You'll see how it works. So let's go there. Compound shape number 1. So we have a rectangle and triangle. First, let's solve the rectangle. So we know that the area of a rectangle is length times width. The length is 6 and the width is 2. So we're going to have 6 times 2, which equals to 12. 12 yards squared. So let's remember that the area of a rectangle is 12 yards squared. And now let's do the triangle, which we know from our previous examples is BH over 2. Now what is the base of this? It is just 5 yards, so let's just write that. Now this is the tough question. What is the height? Now this is the side we want to measure. Now this is 6 yards, which means this is also 6 yards. So the height is 6 yards. And 5 times 6 is 30 over 2. And then 30 over 2 is equal to 15 yards squared. And then now what do? We have to add these two values. So the area of the rectangle is 12 yards squared plus the area of the triangle, the right triangle, which is 15 yards squared. 12 plus 15 is 27. So we have 27 square yards. So that's the answer. That's the area of both the rectangle and the triangle combined. This compound shape. Let's try another one. So this one we have 3 shapes and they're all rectangles. So the first one, 10 times 20 is 20 square feet. Let's not write square feet just for time. And then 1 times 3, that's just 3. And then 0.4 plus 0.3, or times 0.3, that's 0.12. So we have 20 plus 3, which is 23. 23 plus 0.12 is just 23.12. And then we write square feet. So the answer, the area of this compound shape, 3 rectangles, is 23.12 feet squared, square feet. Next we have this. We have 2 squares and a triangle. Now the area of a square is just one of its sides squared. So we have here it's 5. We know that one of the sides is 5. 5 squared is 25. So we have 25 inches squared. Plus the other square, which is 2 inches on one of its sides. So it's going to be 2 squared, which is 4. So we have 25 plus 4. And then the triangle, we know the base is 5 and the height is 3. 5 times 3 is 15. 15 over 2 is just 7.5. 25 plus 4 is 29 plus 7.5. That is equal to 36.5. And then the unit is inch squared. So the compound shape, the area of it is 36.5 inches squared. 2 squares and 1 triangle. Next is this. Now we have two rectangles. It's like the letter T basically. So we have 6 times 1, which is 6, and then we have 4 times 1 is 4. So we're gonna have 6 plus 4, which is equal to 10. 10, and then the unit is miles. So we're gonna have 10 miles squared, or 10 square miles. So that's it for the T, and that's it for the compound shapes, and that's it for the video. So the compound shapes, you have to add all the shapes. The square, you have to square one of its sides. The rectangle is the length times the width, and finally, or the square, or the triangle is the base times the height over 2. And finally, the circle is pi r squared. So that's going to be it for today's video. If you enjoyed it or found it educational, feel free to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Turn that button gray, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.